Welcome, I'm Kinetic Symphony. This is Dave. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the supernatural. Case file number 1941, written by Marshcranberry. 5 blocks away was Mike, who vanished that day. Okay, so it was the first day of kindergarten, and I lived about 5 blocks from school. But I lived on the bottom of the hill, where the school was on top. You could pretty much see the house from the door to the school. My mother was not great. Like lost custody about a year later, not great. Anyway, that morning she gets all drunk and is like, "I'll watch you go to school from here. Then, when school is over, I'll wait outside and you can just walk home." I was like, okay, I'm 5. So I went to school, did my thing. When the day was over, this lady was assigning other kids to walking routes. She was like, "You will go on this route." And I was like, "No, my mom is waiting for me right down the street." And she was like, "No, you will go with this team here." And I got mad. I had a hell of a temper too, as I screamed that my mom was waiting and she would be mad if I took a route. The woman was like, "You need someone to go with you." This slightly older kid said, "I'm Mike, I'll take you home, it's on the way to my house." And we took off. Right away, I see my mom isn't waiting on the porch for me, which was to be expected. About 3 blocks down, Mike was like, "I live like 2 blocks down this street. You see your house, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's like 2 blocks away." So he takes off. 1 block away from home, this van rolls up. "Hey kid, you need a ride?" I didn't pay much attention. I was like, "My mom is waiting for me." And he was like, "Your mom told me to pick you up." Now the fact that my mom wasn't waiting on the porch like she said she would, told me, okay, she is partying at the friend's house, I'll just hop in. This is when I heard Mike's voice behind me say, "Hey, you get out of here." And the dude looked super freaked out, like from friendly smile to frightened, and he took off fast. I turned to Mike, who I had heard yell super loud a second before. I swear, he was right behind me, and no one was there. No one at all. I went back half a block and he wasn't there, and didn't see him the last block home either. The next day, when I got to school, the woman who was assigning routes the day before took me to the office because I had skipped on my route. She was all mad like I ran off without a route. Apparently kids need to have routes. And was like, "Mike took me." And she was like, "Who is Mike?" And I was like, "The kid who walked with me?" And she was pissed, because that's like a law thing. So we went to every Mike in 3rd, 4th, 5th grades, and it was none of them. I never did see that Mike again. Case notes file 1941. 5 blocks away was Mike, who vanished that day. Okay, yeah, I'd say guardian angel. Can you say it with me? How crazy is it that people would try to do that to a child? Sometimes we have guardian angels looking out for us. But you know, it probably wasn't a Mike. The guardian angel just said that name, knowing that all the other Mikes were not him. The vessel was not Mike at all. He just gave some random name, why not? You don't want the vessel you possess to get into trouble. You're just taking it over temporarily to prevent a tragedy. And prevent it he did. +1 for the guardian angel. Amazing. Case file number 1942, written by TSEpsilon. Nighttime scene, strangers keen, and a gruesome mien. When I was in high school, my mom was driving me home from a choir concert when we saw a homeless man get hit by a car. She stopped to help and grabbed a blanket from the trunk to cover him with. I stayed in the car. Eventually, we were released when the authorities showed up and she gave a statement. So we went home, but we left the blanket. A couple of hours later, the doorbell rings. It's 2 complete strangers. I have never seen these people before in my life. They have our blanket, now splattered with blood. The guy didn't make it. And they casually greet me by my name, claiming to know me from school. They said they'd seen that it was our blanket, so they came to give it back. 1. they looked a little old for high schoolers, sort of like people who play high schoolers in Hollywood. 2. I would swear on my life that I had never seen them before. No shared classes, nothing. And it's not like I was a school celeb or anything. I mostly kept to myself. 3. It was nighttime, and I didn't leave the car. 4. Even if I can somehow get the others to make sense through weird coincidences, how did they know my address? Not really knowing what to do at the moment, I thanked them. Both parents looked at me like, who are these people? And accepted the bloody blanket. They left, we got rid of the blanket, and although I kept an eye out at school, I never saw those two again. Caissons from 1942. Nighttime scene, strangers keen, and a gruesome mien. Okay, this one, I don't know. As you say, you've never seen them. They appeared too old to be in high school, like people pretending to be younger when they're not. Like in Hollywood. How did they get your address? And how did they even see you when you were hidden in the car? There's so many weird oddities to this one. You can almost fit them in a mundane explanation, but altogether they just don't mesh, and I don't know what would cause this. I don't even know what kind of glitch would cause this either. It's just bizarre. Why return a bloody blanket? Why would anyone want that back? What a weird experience. Case file number 1943. Written by Kroatoan 178. 2 orders, 2 quips, 21 pilot trips. I'm a barista at a coffee shop, and the shift I had a couple days ago threw me for a loop. So, I was taking an order from these 2 gentlemen at our walk-up window. The first guy ordered a drink, and I asked if he wanted whipped cream on it. He said, "Nah, that's okay. I'm sweet enough already." Now, I've worked here for 5 years, and I've heard many quips, but I hadn't heard that one before, so it stuck out in my mind. I laughed and took his friend's order. For context, we have speakers inside the building and outside that we can Bluetooth music through. And I'm a big 21 Pilots fan, so that was what was playing. The second guy asked me, "Did you guys pick this music?" As opposed to a corporate office handpicking playlist for us or whatever. I said yes, and he mentioned that he was a big fan of the band also. Let it be known that I was wearing a band tee of theirs, but he didn't comment on it. I don't know if he realized it was or what. Now, here's where it gets kinda weird. Not 30 minutes later, I'm outside taking orders in our drive-thru. One car has 2 guys in it, and the driver orders a drink. I ask if he wants whipped cream. He says, "Nah, I'm sweet enough already." And I laugh it off in my head, but I'm thinking how weird of a comment that is to have 2 separate customers say within less than an hour. No hesitation. This guy gestures to my shirt and says, "Oh, 21 Pilots, right? Big fan myself." Again, I laugh it off and talk about the band with him, but inside I was like, what? These 3 guys were all different age demographics too. Caissons from 1943. 2 orders, 2 quips. 21 pilot trips. Hey, this is a cool little story. Could be someone just had a friend and they told them what they said to the barista, and because of that, it was uncommon that they could go back and just do it again. But then it's not really something you can plan. You don't know what the favorite band of the barista is going to be before you go in. So it could just be an extreme coincidence too, or some kind of temporal event, but it was a different person a third time, so I don't know. That's just an oddity, but interesting nevertheless. Also, I have to say, I'm surprised you've never heard, "No, I don't want that. I'm sweet enough already." That kind of sounds like a pickup line, to be honest, and that you haven't heard that in 5 years is shocking, actually. Now time for the joke of the day. I named my daughter after my mother-in-law. Raving psycho will soon be a year old. People don't like their in-laws, but damn. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony, signing off.